Marcus Rashford engages in extra training amid Manchester United squad exile. Marcus Rashford hasn't stepped onto the pitch for Manchester United since December 12 and has been left out of 8 of the last 9 matchday squads. Despite this, he remains eager to represent the club he cherishes. Sources have revealed that Rashford, who recently expressed his desire for a new challenge, hasn't declared himself unavailable, even after missing his 9th consecutive game during the 3-1 home defeat to Brighton. When asked about Rashford's absence in the post-match press conference, United's manager Ruben Amorim remarked, "The choice is his." To maintain his fitness, Rashford has been putting in extra training sessions, but there's a possibility he could leave his childhood club before the January transfer window closes on February 3rd. Tottenham and West Ham United have shown interest, engaging in preliminary discussions with Rashford's representatives. The 27-year-old is ready to take on a centre-forward role at another club, although his most effective position is generally seen as left-winger. Rashford earns £325,000 a week, and United is keen to either sell or loan the England international this month, especially after his public expression of a desire to move on. A sale would represent a significant profit under the Premier League's profitability and sustainability regulations, given that Rashford is a product of their academy. On Wednesday, United's training session before their Europa League match against Rangers will be open to the media for 15 minutes. However, the club has notably scaled back its image and video output over the past month, with Rashford missing from a batch of photos released from a training session on January 8th. Amorim made the decision to exclude Rashford from the squad for the Manchester derby, which ended in a 2-1 victory against City on December 15th. His only involvement since then was as an unused substitute in the 2-0 defeat to Newcastle on December 30th. Amorim noted, "As you said, it's his choice. In the recent games we've lost, Rashford hasn't been here. I don't want to put that moment on him. He's out of this moment because he's not playing. Regardless of the circumstances, I won't field a player I don't believe is best for the team." Earlier this month, Rashford turned down offers from 3 clubs in the Saudi Pro League and has no interest in moving to Turkey. Borussia Dortmund has also been linked with the United Academy graduate, making the upcoming weeks pivotal for his career. The situation remains fluid, and fans are watching closely as Rashford navigates this challenging period. Before we move on, if you are a Red Devils fan, leave a like. This will help you get closer to all the news from Manchester United Football Club. Thank you. Manchester United in talks to finalise Patrick Dorgu transfer. Manchester United is keen to make Patrick Dorgu their first signing of the Ruben Amorim era. The club is currently in negotiations with Lex to bring in the talented left-back. As the transfer window closes on February 3rd, the Reds are eager to bolster their wing options, and Dorgu has emerged as a promising target. At just 20 years old, he naturally plays on the left but is also capable of filling in on the right side. According to the Manchester Evening News, discussions between United and the Italian club are ongoing, but nothing has been finalised yet. With the team struggling after 4 losses in their last 6 Premier League matches, there's a pressing need to inject fresh talent into the squad. However, the club is working with a limited budget this month, meaning that player departures will be crucial for any potential signings under manager Ruben Amorim. Antony is reportedly close to a loan move to Real Betis, while Tyrell Malaysia is also heavily linked with an exit. Meanwhile, speculation surrounding Marcus Rashford's future continues, with interest from several European clubs, including AC Milan and Borussia Dortmund. Dorgu, who has been with Lex since 2022, has made 22 appearances in Serie A this season, contributing 3 goals and 1 assist. He has showcased his versatility by playing both on the left and right flanks throughout the campaign. The young player is also a Danish international, having made 4 appearances for his country. He made a memorable debut off the bench in a 2-0 Nations League victory against Switzerland in September, scoring with his very first touch. With these negotiations in progress, fans are hopeful that Dorgu's arrival could signal a positive shift for United as they aim to turn their season around. Manchester United works on Tyrell Malaysia's exit to fund Patrick Dorgu transfer. Tyrell Malaysia has returned from injury, but has found it challenging to secure a spot in Manchester United's lineup. As a result, he is set to leave on loan this month, paving the way for the club to finalise the signing of left-back Patrick Dorgu from Lex. Since coming back from a lengthy 17-month injury layoff in November, Malaysia has struggled for playing time. Interest has emerged from Premier League clubs and teams across Europe, with Serie A viewed as a potential destination. United needs to sell players to finance new signings in January, and while a permanent transfer for Malaysia seems unlikely, the club is looking to arrange a loan deal that might include an option to buy at the end of the season. Although Malaysia is eager to make his mark at United, He recognizes that the potential arrival of Dorgu could complicate his chances. The 20-year-old is seen as a perfect fit for manager Ruben Amorim's wing system. Malaysia made his return to the first team against Bodo Glimt in late November, marking his first appearance for the club in 550 days, and his first competitive outing since playing for the Netherlands in June 2023. The left-back has undergone 2 surgeries for a knee injury and faced significant challenges during an extended rehabilitation period. He had hoped that Luke Shaw's fitness struggles would provide him an opportunity to impress Amorim, but chances have been scarce. Since his return, Malaysia has made 5 appearances, but 3 of those ended at half-time. He managed to play 61 minutes against Victoria Plzen in the Europa League and came on in extra time against Arsenal in the FA Cup earlier this month. There is a growing consensus within United and among Malaysia's teammates that the 25-year-old needs a sustained run of games to regain his agility and rhythm. Unfortunately, Amorim has preferred to field Diogo Dalot or Nasser Mazraoui out of position on the left. With Shaw nearing a return to fitness and Dorgu set to arrive, Malaysia's chances of making an impact in the second half of the season are looking increasingly slim. As the situation develops, it's clear that a loan move could be the best path forward for both the player and the club. Inero's likely to respond to Ruben Amorim's critique more than Manchester United players. Ruben Amorim's sharp criticism of Manchester United's players has raised eyebrows, and how both the players and Inero's react could define his tenure. Remember when Ralf Rangnick famously remarked that United needed open-heart surgery? He made that statement during an embargoed press conference on a Friday night. By the time the team arrived at the Emirates the following morning, around 11 a.m., the players were already aware of the comments, and they weren't pleased. Rangnick had been venting his frustrations in press conferences for some time, but this particular occasion felt like he threw his players under the proverbial bus. His standing in the dressing room was already shaky, and his coaching staff lacked the quality needed for a club of United stature. It became a messy situation shortly after his appointment, and his comment added to a sometimes toxic atmosphere. Amorim, however, finds himself in a different situation. As a coach, he boasts a stronger track record and relates better to the players. Plus, he has a long-term contract, while Rangnick was merely a caretaker. Yet, Amorim's claim that this is the worst Manchester United team in history may eventually fall into the same category as Rangnick's remarks. Such statements could harm relationships with some players. The fact that the 2021-22 squad was aware of Rangnick's comments shortly after they were made public shows that players pay attention to what their manager or head coach says. It's nearly impossible to shield them from such news, and even if they try, their agents, PR advisors, or friends will keep them in the loop. So how might the players have responded to Amorim's assertion? They might think that this team isn't the worst in United's history, even with 4 defenders on the pitch. While it was a poor squad that seemed directionless under struggling coach, as Amorim admitted, they weren't entirely without merit. The current team is faltering partly because the manager is too stubborn to adapt his methods. This point was somewhat lost in yesterday's post-match comments, but Amorim's admission that he wouldn't even consider deploying a second striker when trailing was striking. He has stuck rigidly to his 3-4-2-1 formation throughout his 15 matches in charge. To his credit, Amorim took responsibility for the team's performance on Sunday, but one could argue he should shoulder even more blame. He is committed to a system that seems ill-suited for the players at his disposal, and while his resolve is commendable, it also means he must accept the lion's share of responsibility for such dismal results. His remark about this being the worst United team in history seems like a shock therapy tactic. He's trying to galvanize them for a relegation battle while making it crystal clear just how poor he believes they are. He's looking for a reaction, but the players may also be eager to explore a different system from time to time. It's hard to imagine a more dogmatic manager in world football than Amorim. While his unwavering belief might prove correct, it certainly isn't with this current group of players. His critique could just as easily be directed at Ineros, who oversaw 3 weeks of the transfer window without making a single move, either in or out. If Amorim hopes to succeed at Old Trafford with a 3-4-2-1 formation, he will need new players, and plenty of them. United's financial situation makes this a tall order, yet they should have understood the necessity when they approached the 39-year-old manager. You can't have the current executive football structure at United and be caught off guard when a coach you appointed, who has a clear style, says the squad has glaring deficiencies. Amorim might be trying to shock his superiors into action just as much as is trying to provoke a response from his players. But when the players arrive at Carrington this week, confronted by their manager's damning quotes, the atmosphere is likely to be tense. Unless Ineros finds a way to loosen the purse strings in the coming weeks, both groups will be stuck together. Amorim isn't going to change his approach, but it's hard to see how his players will suddenly master this system, either. The worst team in United history will likely stumble through the rest of the season, and the headlines may continue to worsen.